Okay, selamat siang to all of you. Good to see you all. Well, unfortunately, not personally, but through the Zoom conference. I hope that you're all in good health and everything is fine with you. So, as usual, let me start by saying a few words on the issues that may be interesting to you. And then, of course, I will be happy to answer your questions. First of all, of course, the most topical issue in the world is the coronavirus, the COVID-19 situation. Unfortunately, as we see, the global epidemiological situation is rapidly going from bad to worse. Last spring, leading health experts expressed serious apprehensions about a second, more powerful wave of COVID-19 virus. They warned that humanity was in for new trials based on the cross-border spread of the virus. The results of the past 2 months show that the worst forecasts are coming true. Actually, since early September, an explosive growth here in coronavirus cases, over 20 million more has been recorded in the world. And of course, now, according to Johns Hopkins University, about 52 million people have been diagnosed with the coronavirus. Actually, Russia has not been spared from this situation. According to the statistics that we have for the 9th of November, the total case of coronavirus infections in Russia is around 1,800,000 cases. The average rate of growth is around 20,000 cases per day. But the good news is that we have around 1,400,000 people who recovered, and the death rate is quite low. We have around 30,000 of people who died because of the coronavirus. Of course, what we didn't have lockdowns measures. Of course, we have the quarantine health protocol measures like most of the countries of the world, wearing masks, social distancing, washing hands, but we haven't applied strict lockdown measures because, first of all, our healthcare system is coping quite well and has proved to be resilient. And on the other side, we are optimistic because of the vaccines that have been developed in our country. So far, we are aware of 3 of the vaccines that are on different stages of clinical trials. Of course, you all know about the Sputnik V vaccine developed by the Gamaleya National Research Institute of Epidemiology and Microbiology. It became the world's first registered vaccine against COVID-19, and it is already on the post-registration 3rd stage of clinical trials, and the program involves some 40,000 people, including 10,000 people who received placebo instead of the vaccine. And the trials are conducted not only in Russia, but in different countries of the world, including India, Brazil, Belarus, and others. Also, I would like to inform you that the Russian direct investment fund has applied for the registration of this vaccine with the WHO. So hopefully it will be registered. We also have another two vaccines that are being developed. Also, I'd like to add that now the Sputnik V vaccine is trialed for people 60 plus, because previously it was only targeted people from 18 to 60 years of age, but now there is the new information that it is being tried for people who are older than 60 years. So there is another two vaccine. One is the vector vaccine and the other is called the EpiVac vaccine. Hopefully the second vaccine, the vector, is on the second stage of clinical trials and the third one is on the first. But we really hope that this second and third vaccine will also be registered quite soon, and we expect to begin the mass vaccination of our population by the end of this year. Hopefully that will help in the fight against coronavirus, not only in Russia, but in other countries that we're cooperating with. I would like to reiterate that Russia is ready to cooperate with Indonesia in the area of production of and distributing of the vaccine. We support the stand of Indonesia that all countries, small or large, should have equal access to the anti-coronavirus vaccine, and we are ready to cooperate with Indonesia in this area. All our proposals have been already tabled to the relevant authorities of Indonesia. Some of the companies in Indonesia have shown interest, and there are talks and consultations going on. Sorry, do you hear me well? Okay. So this is on the coronavirus and the vaccine. If you have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them a little bit later. Another very important issue that I would like to say a few words on is, of course, the Nagorno-Karabakh issue, the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. There has been a new very positive development that maybe you're aware of. On the 9th of November, Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev, Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, and Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a statement on a full ceasefire and cessation of all military actions in the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict zone since 0 Moscow time on November 10. It's a very promising development. We hope that, and according to this statement, all the armed forces of Armenia and Azerbaijan will remain on the positions they currently hold along the contact line in Nagorno-Karabakh. And along the corridor linking Nagorno-Karabakh with the Republic of Armenia, a peacekeeping contingent of the Russian Federation is being deployed. Our President Vladimir Putin made a statement on this issue on November of 10, and he said that the agreement reached on Nagorno-Karabakh by Baku, Yerevan, and Moscow will help solve the issue on a fair basis and in the interest of the Azerbaijani and Armenian people. We believe that the achieved agreements will create necessary conditions for a long-term and full-fledged the settlement of the crisis around Nagorno-Karabakh on a fair basis and the interest of the Armenian and Azerbaijani people. For your information, Russia has begun to deploy its peacekeeping contingent to the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict since 6 o'clock in the morning on yesterday, alongside with the withdrawal of Armenian forces. So because of the efforts that Russia has taken to mediate the, at least to stop the war and the killing of the people, the two sides have reached this agreement, and of course it may not be the complete solution of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, which is a very complicated issue with a long history, actually, but at least the war has been stopped, and people are not dying, and that is a very very positive development. As you know, both of the countries, Armenia and Azerbaijan, are close friends and partners of Russia. And we hope that this conflict can be solved. Basically, that's what I wanted to tell you today, but maybe another one subject that has been attracting the attention of the whole world is the elections in the United States. Well, there's a lot of course, of questions about the electoral process in the United States. Maybe before you ask this question, I would like to state that our president has not yet sent a congratulations to the elected president of the United States, because as the press secretary of the president has said, we think that it would be better first to have the official results of this elections, because still there is a lot of procedures that should be fulfilled before the elections are before the results of the election will be officially announced. But of course, we hope that the relations between Russia and the United States under any president-elect in the next electoral period, next presidential period, would develop in a positive way, which we cannot say was the case during the past 4 years. We're ready to work constructively with any American administration. So if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Yes, I see there.
I have a question on the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict.
Please.
Yes. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. My name is Vela from iNews TV. I would like to ask more about the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict because last night on 10th November, there's a mass protest erupted in the city of Yerevan in Armenia. And I heard that you mentioned about the thousands peacekeeping soldiers from Russia deployed in the area. So far, is there any country, especially like Turkey, will be like to engage in the process of the peacekeeping operations? Thank you very much.
According to the agreement reached between the three countries, I mean Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Russia, only Russia's peacekeeping forces are being deployed along the contact line between Armenia and Azerbaijan. We think that Russia is the most suitable country to have this peacekeeping forces. As I mentioned, both Armenia and Azerbaijan are close partners and friends, and so far there have been no plans to involve any third country in these operations. As for the protest in Yerevan, I don't want to really comment on that. From our point of view, from Russia's point of view, the situation when the war has stopped is in the interest of both countries. Some people may be not happy on where the contact line is being drawn, but the final thing that the war has stopped. Thank you.
So for a little bit more, ma'am. So for how long will the peacekeeping forces of Russia will be conducting the peacekeeping operations in the area?
I think the agreement has been that for 5 years, and this term can be extended further if there's necessity for that.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. There is another question about the vaccine. If Russia exported Sputnik vaccine to Indonesia, could you estimate how much it would cost in rupiah or in dollar? No, not yet, because it's hard to say. It depends on many factors. The only thing I say, it will not be expensive, because as I said, we are of the firm view, which is shared by Indonesia, or we share the view of Indonesia, that all country should have the access to this vaccine. It should be affordable for people in any country, actually. So it will not be hundreds of dollars. It will be tens of dollars, not hundreds. Okay. If you want to ask the question, you can write in the chat, or you can ask it in the mic, please. Any more questions?
So how do you see
Hello.
the... Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Anyone?
I'm sorry.
Please.
Okay. Good morning, Your Excellency.
Good morning.
I'm Rizky from the Jakarta Post. I would like to ask about cybersecurity in regard to bilateral cybersecurity between Russia and Indonesia. Has the Russian government, or perhaps the private sector, such as Kaspersky, coordinated further with Indonesia?
Cybersecurity. Well, you know, Kaspersky is a private company, so the Russian government hasn't got any control over the operations of Kaspersky in the world, and I know that they distribute their products here in Indonesia, but it's not in any way it's controlled by the Russian government. We have contacts G2G with Indonesia on issues related to security, including cybersecurity. That's what I want to say. So we are in contact with Indonesia, and we have mechanisms to coordinate our activities in this area, which is very important, of course. Another question. So apparently, do you have any more?
No, that's it for the moment. Thank you.
So apparently, Sputnik vaccine will be more affordable than Sinovac vaccine from China. I don't want to, you know, to discuss the price of the vaccine, because I'm not aware of what is the price of Sinovac vaccine, but the only thing that I could say that it will be affordable. Yes, it will be affordable, definitely. Yes, please, you have another question?
I still have one more questions about the US election. So my question is, what does Mr. Putin think about Joe Biden related to his role in the past in the US when he was vice president? I know that US and Russia always have a special relationships, you know, like in Bahasa Indonesia, we say that, yeah, sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, you know, when in the Cold War era like this. How do you see his role in the past, and what does Russia really want to tie more with Russia in the future? Thank you.
You know what President Putin thinks about Joe Biden, you probably should better ask Mr. President, because I don't know what he thinks about.
Yeah, in general.
On the U.S. Relations, I would only like to say that it's an interesting question, actually. You know, we take a realistic view on the prospects of our, you know, of interaction in the current situation, and we have no unrealistic expectations. U.S. current policy is openly anti-Russia. More sanctions are adopted against us, and which is crying example of Washington's unfair play in a bid to ensure unjustified competitive advantages in the global economy. And other unfriendly measures are being taken, such as attempts to block, for instance, the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline projects, and ridiculous pretexts are being used, like the situation with the so-called attempt to use chemical weapons against one of the Russian bloggers, Navalny, or other absurd accusations. Of course, we are seriously concerned about developments in the military and political sphere, where US actions have long become destructive. I'm referring to deployment of BMD systems, the termination of the INF Treaty, and the continued uncertainty with regard to the extension of the New START Treaty. These things, they are of course, closely related to the strategic stability and security in the world. Having said that, I would like to stress that we are open to dialogue with the new administration in Washington, whoever at the end becomes president, be it Joseph Biden or Donald Trump. We are ready to cooperate with the United States. We haven't been the cause of this situation, and we hope that this anti-Russian policies would, I would say, would the reason and will prevail, and not just anti-Russian sentiments or Russophobic policies. Yes, another.
Thank you very much.
Another question regarding the report that said if President Putin will step down in the near future. Do you have any statement regarding this report? Well, you know, I can just quote the press secretary of our president, Mr. Peskov, who said that it's nonsense and everything is well with our president. He is in good health, and that he has no intention to step down. Also, President Putin is very much supported by the population, and so there is no reason to believe that he will be stepping down sometime soon. That's all I can say about that. Okay, the next question. You mentioned that some Indonesian companies are already in discussion with Russia about vaccine production. Can you please specify what the Indonesian companies are engaged in such talks? I don't remember now the concrete name of the company, but it's a pharmaceutical company. They signed a memorandum of understanding with the Russian Direct Investment Fund, who has been mandated by the government to distribute the vaccine abroad. Hopefully that that will happen, but also we are waiting for official response from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Health of Indonesia. We have handed over our proposals to these ministries. Okay, so the traditional question about Sukhoi aircraft. What is the latest development on Indonesia's plan to buy Sukhoi from Russia and other defense cooperation between the two countries? The defense cooperation between the two countries are developing in a positive way. The defense cooperation in the broader term, not only the procurement of the defense equipment. We have plans to have contacts between our two ministries of defense. We have plans for port calls by our Navy ships even before the end of this year. For the Sukhoi project, so far there has been no progress, but we haven't have any a negative response from the Indonesian side or any information that Indonesia is going to cancel this project. So we proceed from the understanding that it will be going on. Okay, any other questions? Please.
Your Excellency?
Yes, please.
Sorry. I would like to ask about, my connection lagged a bit earlier in this meeting. So I want to ask about how many countries have participated in the Sputnik vaccine trial? Have you mentioned that earlier?
Okay, let me just...
Because my connection kind of lagged a bit.
Just let me check. Number of countries, just 1 second. Okay, Belarus, Brazil, India, and the United Arab Emirates, which are countries that are quite populated. So it's Belarus, Brazil, India, and the United Arab Emirates.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, any other questions? One more question about vaccine, about the companies. Russia also targeting to work with Biopharma and Chemia Pharma, Indopharma, or maybe other state-owned companies. Well, as far as we know, Biopharma and Chemia Pharma are working with China and South Korea. But if they display any interest to work with Russia, we're ready. Okay. Any other questions? Well, if no more questions, then thank you so much for your attention. I'm planning to have another press briefing before the end of this year. Well, maybe offline.
Oh yeah, great. That will be great. That will be great.
Okay, with all the health protocols, maybe in December before Christmas, we will be happy to invite you to the Russian residents to celebrate a little bit. And of course, I'll be also happy to answer your questions. So thank you so much. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
See you in December.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.